colors that I'm going to use today are going to be white, cobalt blue, yellow ochre, and I think I'm going to, and I don't think that's going to be, I think that's all. Because I can mix the blue and the yellow to make green. And I think I'm just going to do a field of flowers, blue flowers. Anyway, we're going to get started here in a moment. You can get whatever you would like to drink, and we'll get started. So I appreciate y'all hanging out. Thanks so much. Okay guys, I didn't really like the color of green that was coming. I kind of tried some on the picture, and I kind of like that color, so I'm gonna stay with it and not clean off my brush. But I did add some green to my palette, so I'm going to put a little more green into the thing, and I'm going to kind of squish it down a little bit so that I have more than just one color on my brush. And then we're just going to come in here and continue doing the grass. Anyway, I'm just going to continue. I'm going to grab a little white in here. And so we're going to have all kinds of different dimensions of green coming in. Going over my edges with some of this green so that we have a frame around the picture. It's hard to just continue to talk while you're painting. It's hard to concentrate sometimes when you're, just take this green up to the skyline there, and then we can go with some more blue on the edges to kind of frame it in. And I'm going to get the bottom here greened up a little bit. I'm doing upward strokes just because that's kind of giving it the feel of grass growing up. And so I just start here at the bottom of the canvas and just flick it up. I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure on my brush, but I'm putting a little bit just so it gets that, you know, upward motion. And so just go in there and do your grass until you're kind of satisfied with what you're doing, what you think it's, you know, when it gets to the place where you're feeling like that's good enough. We can always go back in and do some skinnier lines so that it's not so thick, but I really kind of like the thickness of it because it kind of makes you kind of feel like you're in the grass, you know, kind of laying down in the grass. That's kind of what I like about this picture. It kind of brings you eye level into the grass. So that's what I was talking about with the horizon situation. It's, you know, kind of, you should, I mean, you know, going back and putting all the background on the bottom, you're going to do that with the grass up front. So I like the texture and the lights and darks. Anyway, there's the grass, and if you're happy with it, then cool. And if not, if you want to add a little more, like if we wanted to add a little more sunshine, you can just put a little bit of yellow, and that'll just kind of bring some lighter wisps in there. Like there's some highlights, there's some sun shining down, and even maybe add some white to it to have another highlight coming in. Anyway, that's the grass. So now you have your sky. I think I'm going to put a little more. I kind of got crazy on this green. I didn't really need all that because I really kind of ended up liking the color that I did when I mixed the blue and yellow and some white. Anyway, I'm going to add just a little bit of depth to it with some of this darker green. I also added some burnt umber onto the palette. At first I didn't have burnt umber, but Now I do, because I wanted to add some dark depth. And so I can come in here with my brush and just get a tiny bit of this burnt umber, and then you can get some shadows. So you can have some contrast and a little more dimension, you know, to what you're doing here. So that adds just a little more dimension. Anyway, I think I kind of like that. So we can stop at this point and rinse off our brush. And I'm going to come back in here and do some blue. We could do some like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some skinny, I think I might even do it with this skinny brush and get some stems. In here where I want to put my flowers, maybe have a little high, just a few higher stems. Coming up for put some flowers on top of that. And I think that's going to be enough because I'm going to have sunflowers coming in the bottom. I'm going to kind of fix that a little bit. So anyway, there is that. I think I'm going to get a little bit of blue. And I'm not sure, I think I want to do the bristle brush. So I'm going to get the bristle brush because I want these flowers to be whimsical. I don't want, you know, these things are just going to be kind of, you know, whimsical. So I'm just barely kind of tapping the brush onto the canvas and just giving the, you know, the illusion of flowers. Really, I mean, it's not like that looks like a real flower, like, you know, a photograph. This is more, you know, impersonating. I mean, not impressionism, impersonating. This is a more impression, giving the impression of, rather than being a true photographic. It almost looks like poppies, blue poppies. Yeah, I like this. This is going to be fun. So you just put your flowers wherever you want. I mean, you're making a garden here, so just put them where you want. And then what I want to do is come back in, you rinse your brush out, dry it up real good, and then I want to come in and I want to put some accents to them. So I'm putting a little bit of the yellow ochre with the white, because I don't want it just to be all one color. I want to have some depth to it. A little, you know, nothing is all one color. Nothing in this world is just a flat color, no matter what anybody says. There is no one color. Everything, even black and white. White's the absence of color, they say, and black is all the colors mixed together. But in between, there is just tons and tons of mixtures. Anyway, I think that's kind of fun. Just easy peasy. Now you have a field of blue flowers. You may want to do some leaves. So what I would do with that is I would get my skinny brush, get all these different colors, and just kind of come in and maybe just put some shapes like a leaf, you know. And there you go. Last step would be signing it, which we're going to be using the teeny tiny. I usually sign in black. So I'm going to put just a tiny bit of black on my palette. And when I say a tiny bit, I just mean like a little dripply. And you can put a little water to that. It gets it more fluid. You don't want it too wet, but you want it where it's easy to sign. And you can do the left or right corner, or you can sign it wherever you want to. I sign it different places. This one I think I'm going to come over here and sign it because it seems to be less busy. And I usually put my last name. So there's a B. I'm going to get my glasses on just so I can see better what I'm doing. There they are. O, T, H. And the way I sign my name is I put dots for the date, so you can tell when the painting was painted. So it's the month, 7th month, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, July, and it's 2020, so 2, 0, 2, 0. So that's July 2020. And there you go. We're done. I guess it's blue poppies. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know. But anyway, you can even do some highlights on your, like if you wanted to come in and just highlight some of your flowers, you can just, you know, or your stems, you can put some highlights around if you wanted to. You don't have to. I kind of like the way it was, so I'm going to leave it at that. Maybe put some here, though. I say leave it at that, and then I get busy. Oops. Better leave it alone. And there it is. Field of poppies. I hope you have fun watching this. And this is a 16 by 20 stretched canvas. And you can get it at any of your craft stores. You can get any of this paint. This is all acrylic paint. And there's the field of poppies. I hope you like it. Have a good day.